Hi, everybody. This is Maria Van Vuklis from the Think Tank podcast. Welcome to another episode. I've got the lovely Edward Zia, who are we talking to today? And we'll be discussing a lot of things to do with LinkedIn. But first of all, I'd like to introduce Edward. And Ed's actually a marketing mentor and certified practicing marketer, an international master coach, and has mentored thousands of winners globally and has helped them get more clients, win top positions, and become leading personal brands. As a master grade coach, Edward has exceeded the threshold of 10,000 plus personal coaching hours, making him a leader in his field, and he's helped individuals generate millions and millions of dollars and loves it so much. In this episode, we'll be discussing Ed's LinkedIn influencer secrets, and there isn't any better episode than this, so let's get straight into it. Welcome to this episode, Ed.
Thank you, Maria. It's an honor being on your show, and I picked a nice outdoor location near where I live for this one. I hope it all looks good on camera.
It looks spectacular. What a lovely day it is there.
Yes, lucky to be in Sydney and lucky to be on your podcast with all your beautiful fans across the world.
Yeah, it's excellent. And I'm looking forward to having a chat to you today about your secret insights about LinkedIn. So first of all, tell us a little bit more about yourself if I haven't already covered it.
Oh, thank you. No, Maria, appreciate it. So these days, my wonderful wife and I, Lassie, big shout out to Lassie, we run a global entrepreneur community and we help people become influencers. Spend a lot of our time teaching. I spend a lot of my time teaching people LinkedIn, video creation, how to run webinars, and also run meetups, be it face-to-face and online. So I find that probably chews up 90% of my time next to running events myself. And I was originally a veteran. I was in the Australian Army and worked with the Australian Federal Police. And also too, I had some really good times as a corporate. I had some rough times too. I know this isn't the topic of this podcast, and we'll throw it off. But I was a homeless veteran at one point. So my story of sort of being a homeless veteran to what I am today has been absolutely incredible. I know it's off topic, but I thought I'd throw that one in there.
No, it's great to hear some background in terms of where you've come from and where you've gotten to now. So with your experience in being an influencer, let's say, I'd love to hear what your journey of success has been in really cracking the code in the LinkedIn secrets of becoming an influencer.
And it's I get asked this question every day and honored to answer it as truthfully as I can, with as much detail as possible. And in short, the way I've cracked LinkedIn isn't just through LinkedIn. I was actually saying this the other day. So whilst I'm brilliant at LinkedIn, and obviously the results prove that, it's actually a lot more beyond LinkedIn. I was saying this to someone the other day. I used to be quite involved in a lot of local business chambers. I've run Meetup for a long time, and I've got a lot of incredible connections. And yes, I've cracked the code on LinkedIn, obviously. However, it's not just about that. It's about all the people I know in the real world that I'm also connected to. And that's actually one of the first secrets I want to give to you about LinkedIn. A lot of people think LinkedIn is like SEO. They think it's like a Facebook ad. No, it's not. LinkedIn is a business networking platform, and the people you know in the real world are critical to your success as taking off a LinkedIn influencer. So the first thing is integrating it in the real world. That's the first secret to success on LinkedIn.
I love how you just mentioned that because we're moved so much onto online space and online platforms with technology, let's say, but if we just really master the basics in building those deep connection relationships face to face, that actually would propel what you would do online, would you say?
Oh, absolutely. And so well said on many levels, because that's just simply the way that it goes. And I think that's the over focus on online. So a real amateur's viewpoint of LinkedIn is, I'm going to jump on LinkedIn and LinkedIn's going to give me all these clients. Whereas my argument is, and I can obviously pull rank here, is saying, look, I get that, but LinkedIn is at the end of the day is a networking tool. So I work directly with Microsoft, right, who own LinkedIn. And in LinkedIn's own words, they call it a networking platform. So that's not my opinion. That's what the owners of LinkedIn call it, right? So they call it a networking platform. And when you see LinkedIn as a networking platform, to me, that mindset shift is everything. Because if you see it like SEO or a Facebook ad, you're going to treat it with this inauthenticity and this level of, in a way, disrespect, right? And it won't work out for you. If you cross 1,000 fans, I'll be surprised, right? If you have crossed 1,000 fans, none of them are going to like you or buy from you, right? However, if you treat it as a networking platform full of wonderful people, you're going to take off. You're going to have a very good experience. I suppose that's probably one of the reasons, because I've always worked with Microsoft, I've always understood what LinkedIn stood for. So when I decided to go into it 2 years ago, I took off very quickly, because I suppose what I was doing is in line with the spirit of LinkedIn. So the way I market myself on LinkedIn is exactly the way LinkedIn designed it. So, and that's one of the big things is when you understand what LinkedIn's about and you use it the way it's intended, you're going to go places and it's going to be a very profitable, fun experience for you.
Yeah, love that. You mentioned a couple of things there, and one of those key points was authenticity. So I'd love to hear your insight about keeping it authentic, keeping it real, and being you on these social platforms to maximize networking, which is the purpose of LinkedIn.
Absolutely, and it all comes down to being who you are. So, for example, I like wearing polo shorts. I like wearing baseball caps. My veterans cap in particular, and I like doing stuff outside. And here I am, and it's about being you, because ultimately, be it you're an employee or you're in your own business. From my point of view, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, people are interested in networking with you, and the more you respectfully behave as yourself, is the better off you're going to be. Of course, you're going to adjust it for LinkedIn. Of course, LinkedIn's a professional environment. You're not going to put drunk Friday night images on there, right? But at the end of the day, you want to professionally be yourself, if I can say that. There are some limits to the stuff you put on there. However, the limits are there to stop improper behavior. The limits aren't there to minimize who you are.
Beautiful. So, how does one actually maximize LinkedIn for networking specifically?
Yeah, so first things I recommend to a lot of people is update your LinkedIn profile so it's beautiful, good headline, a bit like yours, Maria. Your profile's wonderful, like good photo, good headline, be clear on what you do. Spend a day or two on it, make it beautiful, like really take it seriously. Then add everyone you know, right, in the real world, add everyone you know in the real world and keep adding people and start sharing really good content. I love sharing videos and photos. And, like for example, when this interview is complete, when you upload this podcast, I'll be sharing it with honor and pride, saying, "Hey, I was interviewed by Maria Mamvuklis. Here you go." So, and that gives me the next point: is you got to share content that actually helps people. So, content. No one cares. No one wants content about you. They want content that adds value. So, add value to people's lives. Be inspirational or share actual technical advice to help them.
Beautiful. You mentioned a key point here in terms of value. And I think for myself or some other people may have perceived as LinkedIn as quite a professional platform. How does one tap into keeping it personal in that sense, but also professional at the same time?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of, I kind of see it a bit like the workplace. The way I treat it is I think about the workplace and think about, again, I want to be me, but I want to make sure it's adapted for LinkedIn. And for example, I swear a bit in the real world. You'll never see me swearing on LinkedIn, as I won't swear in the workplace. Whilst I might wear, my typical polo shirts and shorts and a veteran's cap, I'll still make sure I'm shaved on camera. So it's like that whole thing. Imagine that you're going to work, but in a really accepting, fun workplace. So there are some limits on your behavior. You want to look good, but at the end of the day, you want to be yourself. So to me, the way I frame it is professionally being yourself. So again, if you're going to do a video, you're going to do a photo, you want to be looking your absolute best, but being authentically you. And that brings me to the next point. You want to look your best in your own unique way. So, for example, if you're inspired by the 70s hippies movement, do a great job of the 70s hippies movement. Wear all the free flowing outfits. If you like wearing suits and top hats, wear the best suit. So my advice to you is take who you are and be the best version of it. So for me, I've gone full on veteran. So I've got like the shirt, the veteran's cap, the army shorts. So take what you are and take it to the ultimate extreme, and that'll give you a great LinkedIn experience.
I love that. I love that. So let's talk about algorithms. Obviously, LinkedIn has a specific algorithm. So my question to you would be, how do you actually adapt with the changing of the algorithm on a regular basis? What are your key tips around that?
Yeah, well, the algorithm changes about 3 to 4 times a day. It's always being tweaked by a massive team in Microsoft. So the algorithm changes. A lot of people try and say the algorithm changes once every now and then. No, it actually changes about 3 or 4 times a day, from little to major tweaks. And what I encourage to everyone, I do this myself, is I always go through my last 24 hours of posts. So of my posts, I'm always looking at the last 24 hours and looking at the winners and the losers. So if I have a post that gets 5 or 10,000 views, I'll be, oh, that's awesome. Why? If I have a post that gets 200 or 300 views, I'll look at that and go, what happened here? So the best way you can understand the algorithm is by looking at your own post performance, because the algorithm is very subjective. The algorithm treats different people differently. So the best way to understand the algorithm is look at your own posts, what's hitting the mark and what's missing the mark. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so effective on LinkedIn, is because I do that every day. I'm always looking at, nah, that doesn't work. Like, for example, I found black and white photos for me. If I want to get less views on a post, the best strategy is to make it black and white, right?
Wow.
Right. Whereas I found for me, color is everything. If I have a photo full of colorful people, it'll get thousands of views. So I have a photo in black and white. If I get 500 views, I'm lucky. So for example, in that scenario, that tells me the algorithm doesn't like black or white. It likes color. So basically you use that to interpret the algorithm. And so you know what works in your own unique way.
Beautiful. What are your insights in terms of LinkedIn around collaboration with other people on that specific platform?
Yeah. Wonderful. Again, like a business chamber, LinkedIn's a business networking tool. You're going to connect with people that you like and you don't like. And if you connect with someone you don't like, you might even remove them as a connection or withdraw from them. But if you meet someone you like, you trust each other, you might jump on, if you're in the same city, you might meet for coffee or lunch. If you're in different cities, you might jump on a Zoom call. But again, LinkedIn's a platform, and it's going to get you meeting people. That's the thing, what LinkedIn does. It's up to you then what you do. And this is another point I want to say is, a lot of people look at LinkedIn and think of it as an ATM machine. Like, oh, I should be making thousands of dollars out of LinkedIn. No, LinkedIn doesn't guarantee that. LinkedIn will guarantee you opportunities to get seen and connect with people. It's what you do. So in case of collaboration, talk to people, see if you like them, jump on a Zoom, and if something happens, take it from there.
Okay. And how have you, over the time that you've been using LinkedIn to increase your influence, what has been your biggest lesson in using that platform?
Support other people and keep the content flowing. If you're supporting other people's posts and you're pumping out content every day, you'll win big. So for example, when I started really taking off as an influencer, I got criticized for posting too much. No one's criticizing me now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And interesting, a few of those people who criticized me then signed up as my clients. So that's obviously what they said, right? A few years later. So keep the content flowing and support other people and make your content beautiful and powerful. I think it's very important.
Fantastic. And how have you found LinkedIn making a difference during the current global times?
Oh, wonderful. I think hats off. There you go. Hats off there. I gotta put my hat on because it's blind me otherwise, but hat off to Microsoft and LinkedIn. I think they've done an amazing job. Not just I'm in Australia, of course, but they've done an amazing job also in the developing world, because using the Philippines, for example, LinkedIn has been able to give opportunities to even people from developing nations. So LinkedIn has been able to, especially during the whole lockdown scenario, support people globally. And we're examples of that. And to be honest, if it wasn't for LinkedIn, I would have been out of business long ago. It was LinkedIn. LinkedIn gave us the lifeline, and we powered through COVID. It wasn't for LinkedIn, we'd probably be screwed by now.
Beautiful.
So I owe a lot to LinkedIn. It kept our business going, and it didn't just keep our business going. It turned us into global superstars. So hence, I praise the LinkedIn God every day. No one loves LinkedIn more than me.
So they've been quite supportive in terms of businesses and small business growth and so forth during these times.
Yeah. And on that, the caveat though is, if you're being positive and doing the right things, I know a few people who aren't bad people, but they would say negative things. They do the wrong thing on the platform, they get in a bit of trouble. But if you're doing the right thing, you're being positive, you're following both the rules and the spirit of LinkedIn, you can't go wrong. So a lot of people have said to me, and touch wood, as you can see, I'm touching wood right here. Ed, have you ever had your account disabled? No. And I don't expect it to be disabled because I've always followed the rules. And if it did get disabled, I'm sure I could go begging back to Microsoft and they'll restore me and they'll give me a slap on the wrist. But again, I'm very clear on following both the spirit of LinkedIn, as in the spirit of the rules, as well as the rules themselves. And if you're being positive, it's very hard to get your account shut down, right? Unless you're saying something really weird. Keep it positive, keep adding value. You can't go wrong. And again, that's the spirit of Microsoft and the spirit of LinkedIn.
Beautiful. Okay, let's wrap this up. What are some key resources that you can offer the listeners in order to increase their influence on LinkedIn?
Oh, Maria, I love your question. So first things first, please connect with me on LinkedIn. Feel free to add me on Facebook and Insta as well. I'm on those lesser platforms, but I'm a LinkedIn guy, of course. Um, so of course LinkedIn's better than those other guys, right? But yeah, look, we run free live webinars every week. We run free networking Zooms every week for the global community. In our mentoring program, the Awesome Marketing Vault, we also got a stack of free content there. So what I say to people is, in a way, we're freemium. We've got heaps of free resources for people to use. And yeah, if you do want to give Edward's ear and Lassie's ear some money, we'd absolutely love to take it. We've got some great programs too. We've got a lot of free resources to get started with. And while I've got your fans too, I just want to give a shout to Maria as well. If you're, be it one of Maria's fans or one of my fans, Maria's amazing. Maria and I spent actually quite a bit of time together one-on-one. And I got to say, Maria, you're amazing in what you're doing. I can see why everyone's hiring you.
Appreciate it, Ed. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure chatting to you.
I'm honoured, Maria, and I just want to say, really appreciate you and your wonderful listeners around the world.
Beautiful. Any last words for the listeners?
Yeah, my big thoughts are treat LinkedIn as a networking platform, and the more you give to people is the more you'll receive in return.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. This is Maria Van Vuklis from the Think Tank podcast. Till next time, bye for now.